All right, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today. My name is Shannon Pyatt. I am one of three, I think there might be four now actually, certified KvCORE instructors by Inside Real Estate. And so what I'm going to do today is basically kind of give you a rundown of KvCORE and some of the best practices. So without further ado, let's go ahead and dive on in. All right, so when you come to KvCORE, the first thing you're going to see is the dashboard. Okay, this is what you're always going to see. This is going to be your daily task, daily things that you need to do. So when you're here, the very first thing I recommend that you do before you do anything on this page is to look at your activity. Now, you can actually click on right here, Hot Leads. This button right here, Hot Leads, is the fourth one over under All Activity. If you click on that, it's going to bring up people that are most interested in working with you, right? Maybe they've saved favorites, or they've loved a property, or they've looked at a property multiple times, whatever it may be. You're going to find that right here, okay? So that's going to allow you the opportunity to be able to reach out to them via email. You could call them directly from there, and you could text message them. Now, before we get into talking about how you're going to follow up with them and what you're going to do when they're in there, I want to back up a second, and I want to talk about something that I think is probably the most important thing inside KvCORE, and that is your SMART number. So if you go over here to the right-hand side, you're going to see your name. There's a drop-down menu there. The next thing you're going to see is a telephone number. Now, this telephone number is originally assigned to you by KvCORE and EXP. Now, let's assume that that number is 828-555-1212. Okay, we'll just assume that that's the number for now. If someone were to get a hold of that number that is not a lead in your system, let me back up and show you what I mean here. So, for example, Scott Christie is a lead in my system. So if I were to text message Scott were to text message me, whatever it may be, then it's going to automatically put the two of us together, right? It's going to say, okay, well, Scott belongs to Shannon, Shannon belongs to Scott, and we're going to let those two talk because they're already a lead in our system. Okay. Now, if I have the corporate number, not my personal SMART number, but the corporate number, that is a round robin number between all EXP agents in your area. Okay. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, so for example, Scott is a lead in my system. Let's say Scott goes out and he brings on someone, that his neighbor's looking to buy a house or to sell a house. And he says, you know what, Shannon is a great agent. He's going to take very good care of you. Why don't you, reach out to him? Here's his number, 828-555-1212. Okay. Now, when Scott gives his friend, let's say Sam, that's his name, right? Sam, that number, then what Sam is going to do is he's going to call that number, obviously, to try to reach me, to try, to say, hey, Scott told me to give you a call, whatever the situation may be, or text message me, either one, doesn't matter. And if that's a round robin number and it is not a lead in my system, so Sam is not a lead in my system, when Sam dials or text messages that number, it's going to round robin to the next available EXP agent. Okay, this is very important to understand. Because you're going to be giving away leads if you're not careful. Okay, now the best way to handle that is go here under Quick Actions. Okay, I'm sorry, not Quick Actions. I got caught up here. Okay, go up here and you're going to click on, let's see, they actually moved this on me. Give me just a moment here. Click on My Profile right here. Okay, and then click Phone. Okay, and you'll see that these are different ones and they rotate through all agents. Right here is my personal number right here. Okay, so if you want to get your own number, just click By Number right here. You can also do that by going over to down here to their marketplace and searching for it there. But the easiest thing to do is just click here, click the number, and then click Phone. Click Profile and then click Phone. Once you do that, you can buy that number. It's $27 a month, but it ensures that you're not going to lose any leads. Okay. So it's a very important feature, in my opinion, to have that so that you're ensuring that you're not giving leads away to other agents. Okay, so that's very, very important right there, number one. The second thing is you can also go in here to your profile and you can certainly set it up. You can do all kinds of different things. Now, we offer a boot camp, a KvCORE boot camp, where we help you do the setup and we train you and all that good stuff. And you're certainly welcome to do that. But if you want to do it on your own, there's certainly ways that you can do that by going into your My Profile, clicking on your link, and then going in and setting things, setting things that you want to set up, such as your email signature, bio, that kind of stuff. Okay, so that is basically just kind of a quick overview of what's going on the far right hand side. The next one is going to be your chats. These are basically chats that people have sent to you or you've sent to them, right? So they're little conversations, right? You can also get to support down here if you need to, right? So you can click on this. This is a different chat. Keep this in mind, okay? This is a support chat, okay? This is your actual chat for your clients. So a little bit of a different chat there. So there's a client chat and then there's the support chat. Okay. The next thing you're going to have is your recent activity. So this is basically going to show you everything that's been going on in your website for the last little bit. People, things that they've looked at, if you've text messaged people, if they've emailed you, if you've emailed them, that kind of stuff. Okay. Showing your notifications. This is going to tell you all the different things that are past due, things that are due today, things that are due tomorrow and upcoming. Okay. And you can see here, by the way, it brings them up right here. Now, if you don't want to do this, let's say I don't want to call Janice today. I simply just snooze this. I can snooze it for 20 minutes up to a week, right? So let's say I don't want to call her for 3 days. I click snooze for 3 days. She goes away. It moves right to Ryan. Okay. Now, if we were to call Ryan, if we were to click Ryan right here, okay. Now, what it's going to do is it's going to pull up this outbound call feature. It's going to have his phone number here. And of course, it's going to tell me, this is an outcome, right? So I can select what the outcome was. If I talked to him, left a message, whatever, right? Notes here, I can make any notes that I need to. I can, of course, then assign a follow-up action, right? If I need to do that, create an appointment or create a task or whatever that is, right there, all from the main screen. The other thing that you can do also is you can use Smart Assistant call script. Okay. So you can go in and you could, let's say you want to send them a welcome email, or maybe you just want a call script, right? Maybe you're a new agent and you don't know what you should be saying to this person. We'll just click on welcome script here. Okay. And it's going to bring it up. And this is ChatGPT. Okay. And it's basically going to pull up right here. And it's going to give you a script of how you need to build rapport with this person, get them to provide information, the next steps, so on and so forth. And you can do that with a lot of the different features, right? You can regenerate this response if you didn't like the response or whatever the situation may be. As far as calling, you would simply just click call. Now it's going to call your phone. It's going to call. So what's going to happen is it's going to call your phone first, and then it's going to contact that client. Okay. So let's say you're calling Sam, for example. Okay. And then you're going to click call now. When you do, let's see. I don't want to do that right now because it's calling. Okay. Whoops. It's now calling me. You don't want to do that, right? You don't want it to, unless you're ready for the phone call to come through. So obviously you want to click that when you're ready for the call to go through, and then it's going to put the outbound call. Then you're going to make the notes and things of that nature. You can also schedule out a call. This is very helpful. So let's say this person's not looking to buy for a year, right? Then I might put in here, looking to buy in 1 year. 1 year. Good Lord. Okay, there we go. Right. And now I can go in and I can set a date of when I want to reach back out to them. So if they're saying a year, I give them 6 months. If they say 6 months, I give them 3 months. If they say 4 months, I give them 2 months, right? So you always want to cut that in half. So you just reach out to when you want it, set the date, sync with Google. You're going to want to do that, but you got to make sure that you got that set up first. But when you sync with Google, it's going to put it in your calendar so that you don't necessarily even have to log into KvCORE. It's going to automatically be in your calendar. Then you can do repeat calls, where you can say, you know what, I want to repeat this call once a week. Maybe I want to repeat this call 7 times over the next week. Maybe they're a brand new lead and you want to call them once a day, whatever the situation may be. You can kind of set that up however you need to right there. And that's all right here from this particular notifications tab. The next thing over is going to be your email sync. Now, this is Google. Google settings for me. I believe I don't know if they still do the other one, which is the Microsoft, but I know for sure that they do Google. And so what I do is I have it set up to where I have the email turned off, the calendar turned on, and the contacts off. Now you can set this up however you want to. I like it better this way because I don't want to email I don't want every person to be a lead in my system that I've ever emailed. I also don't want every contact that I've ever made a contact of to be a lead in my system. That's just me personally, totally up to you. You don't have to do it that way, but that's what I recommend. Okay. The next thing over is the quick actions. You can do add contact, add call, add task, blog posts, send email, etc. You can add a contact, right? Super easy to do. If you only have an address, you can do that with just an address, right? And then you're simply going to give permission to call, text, and email, your address, your lead information, all that good stuff. Okay, so once you've got all that done, then it's going to add that lead. I don't want to add that lead right now. You can search for leads by name, email, or phone number. Okay, all you have to do there. Now, this little hamburger thing over here, you see this little 3 dots, 3 lines? This is a hamburger, and basically what it is it expands this sidebar for you. So if I close that off, obviously it looks like just icons, but then I can click on it and it says all the different things that I need. So the next thing we're going to move to, is your dashboard. I showed you what to do there with the hot leads. That's a great way to follow up with people and things like that. Now, the other thing you might want to do is click into that particular lead. When you do, you're going to get these various different things pop up. Okay, so you can see here that everything that this person has ever done, properties they've looked at, everything are all right here. I can also see what emails were sent out and if they were opened or if they were not opened, right? So these were opened here. You can see it says they clicked it at 9:13 p.m., but they did not open any of the other emails. But you can kind of keep up with what's going on there. You can obviously move them through the process. So if they're a new lead, you want to move them to an active lead, you just simply click on that and it'll allow you to do that. Okay, the contact information. Obviously, you want to fill out as much here as you possibly can. Hashtags are really important. So you're going to want to make sure that you're utilizing hashtags. Now, I would recommend, buyer, what area they're looking for, what price range they're looking for, as much detailed information as you can have, because when you're in the Smart CRM, you're actually going to be pulling up those hashtags, and you're actually going to, be able to find them a lot easier. So I tell people, think about Twitter, for example, right? Or X called X now. If I wanted to look up Elon Musk, for example, I would go and type in hashtag Elon, and it would pull up everything about Elon Musk, right? It would pull up any hashtags. So it's the same concept with the hashtags, okay? It'll tell you everything that they're looking for. It'll tell you, when they were active, how long ago they were active. All that information is right here at your fingertips, okay? So you can certainly do that. Now, this is going to be your insights. This is basically like a rating system. I always tell everybody this. If they give me a valid email address or a valid phone number, they get 3 stars. If they give me a valid email address and a valid phone number, they get 4 stars. And if they're looking to do something, then they get 5 stars, right? If they're interested in buying or selling, that's 5 stars. Okay, so that kind of gives you an idea of how to handle the contact information in there. You can also transfer or share the information as well. I don't recommend transferring. Transferring is a bad idea in my opinion, because once it's transferred out of your system, it's gone forever. If you share with view to edit privileges, then you can share it with anybody within the company and they get access to it, and you can still see if they put them under contract or whatever the situation might be. Okay. The next thing is the actions. Now, this is probably one of the most important features in the back office. Again, you can do your call from here, right? So the new call, it's the same thing I just showed you, right? No different there. All right. You can also add a note, right? So you want to add a note. If you want to pin it to the top, that's a great idea. That way you know what they talked about last. Sending an email, right? You can send an email. You can also use a smart assistant to help you write the email if you don't have an email already written. As far as sending a text, same concept, right? You can send, it shows you the text messages that you've had. And of course you can go in here, you can, use a template, or you can put an attachment, add an MLS, add a core video, which is the video feature, bomb inside of KvCORE. Now you do have to pay extra for that, but that's a great tool. You can add a task, right? You can do a voicemail drop. Voicemail drop is a charged tool. It's a great tool. It's like slide dial. If you know what slide dial is, it basically goes directly to a voicemail, right? Without ringing the phone. And that's the same thing as voicemail drop. I would highly recommend, though, if you're going to only do one of these two between voicemail drop and core video, I personally would always go with core video. Now, the reason for that is because you get unlimited video, and it's $30 a month. So you can send video after video after video. You can save them. You can reuse them in campaigns. There's all kinds of different things that you can do. Core Present is going to allow you to be able to do like a quick CMA, if you will. It's a pretty unique tool, and it basically would take the address if they've already got the address in there, and it basically would pull all the information as far as the comps and things like that for you, and then you just simply send that out to them. The More Actions is going to allow you to do a lot of different things like share the contact, update and send a new valuation, transfer the lead, merge the contact, unsubscribe from emails, all this different stuff. Now, if somebody wants to be left alone, they say, don't bother me anymore, I highly recommend that you go to archive lead. Okay, don't delete the contact, but go to archive lead. That's usually a real good feature. You can also try to find them on Facebook, Google, LinkedIn, PIPL, or Spokio, right? So you can certainly utilize some of those features as well. Okay. We're not going to worry about the close companion. That's another day. As far as appointments, that would tell you what appointments you have, or you can add appointments there. Now, keep in mind one thing about KvCORE. KvCORE, when they go to your website, whatever they look at, it's registering it. For example, Scott, it's saying, is looking at single-family homes in McDowell County for under $150,000. So it's going to automatically update that as you go. So I recommend personally sending this out to your clients versus what you send through the MLS. People will argue with me all the time and they say, why in the world would you do that? It's really simple. If I send an MLS listing to someone, let's say there's only 3 homes that meet their criteria in the MLS. Well, if those 3 homes don't work for them, they're going right back to Zillow. And then Zillow, of course, is full of agents who would love to take my leads away from me, right? We don't want that to happen. So what we do basically is we go in and this allows us to be able to control what they look at. So they see those 3 homes, it doesn't have what they are looking for. Then there's a great big blue button at the bottom. Click here to learn more, to see more, whatever the situation may be. Now, let's use this as a scenario. Let's say that Scott was married to Mary, okay? And they were looking for a $500,000 home in Charlotte, for example, okay? Now, it would automatically show up right here, single family, Charlotte, $500,000. So it would automatically start sending those results to Scott. Let's say that Scott and Mary ended up getting a divorce and they didn't want to tell us because they were embarrassed. Okay, that does happen. And then, so now they're no longer looking for a $500,000 family home. Scott's now looking for a condominium under $150,000 in McDowell County. It would automatically change after he had looked at so many properties. Whereas on the MLS, you would not know that and you would still be sending irrelevant information to them. Hopefully that's understandable. You can go in here under profile details. You can change things. You can add extra people, spouse, email, phone number, things of that nature. Your alerts, we just talked about, right? You can set those up. Your files, your transactions, and your task. So that is basically the back office of what a lead looks like. All right. So now let's go ahead and go over to something called Playbooks. Okay. A playbook is basically a quick way for you to do one of these things: promote a listing, gather your sphere, or work your sphere. We're going to use promote a listing for an example. We're going to click open playbook. Now, this is a great way to do this if you just have a listing and you really don't know what you're doing. You really don't know how to do your own Facebook stuff and all that. This is a great way to be able to do it. So you can go in here, you can pull up either my listings, company listings, EXP listings, whatever, right? And then it's going to pull up all these. Now I can simply just click on one and say start promoting, right? So now what it's going to do is it's going to go through my system and it's going to look for matching buyers. What buyers match that particular property right here? Then I can send them a text message or an email automatically made out, right, with the click of a button. Very simple, okay? The next thing that I can do is skip that play. I can utilize a text code, right? So we get a text code. Again, if you don't have your own smart number, this is not going to be a good idea for you. You got to make sure you got your own smart number. But the text code is going to allow me now to be able to put that on a for sale sign, a rider, digital ads, newspaper ads, whatever it may be, okay? We can also boost the property. This is what I recommend if you don't know how to go in and boost on Facebook and do all that stuff yourself. Just pay KvCORE to do it for you, right? They're going to do a great job of it. They're going to, leave a little information here about the house. They're going to click learn more, and then that's going to take them to your website, which is inevitably going to get them to sign up. And then obviously you can help them out from there. Digital promotion, your squeeze pages, your landing pages, your Craigslist stuff, all that's already done for you, okay? So all you have to do is simply just go down through there and click on it. All right, and then you can initiate a seller report email. That would be if you had the listing already, and that would send the seller a report of who's looked at their property, how often they looked at it, that kind of stuff. Okay, then you can activate a smart campaign. So those are basically how you utilize a playbook. All right. So the next thing we're going to go to is the Smart CRM. Okay, and again, if you want to see what I'm doing, just expand that hamburger there. So Smart CRM. Okay. Now, what this allows me to do is this allows me to be able to pull up people. Remember, I was talking about hashtags before. So now I can actually go in here and I can say, you know what? I want to look for new leads that are buyers that have the hashtag of, Asheville, for example, right? I can do that, right? And I just simply go in here and then I click on Asheville and then I'll make sure to click on both of them, right? And it'll pull up those leads. There may not even be any leads for that one, but it'll pull up those leads. There we go. So it pulls up all those leads right here. Now, all I want to do is be able to get in contact with them in a mass way. Now, I could simply click on one and go one by one by one if I wanted to, or I can go over here beside first name, highlight all of them. Now I can mass email, mass text message. If I have BombBomb, mass video message, or any of the other stuff right here that you can simply do. Okay, you can delete them, archive them and all kinds of different stuff. But that gives you an idea of how that works. Now, there's other things that you can do by, creating, hot buttons and things of that nature. We're not going to get into all that right now, but that just kind of gives you an idea of how you can mass reach people. You always want to make sure this is set on 250 rows, by the way. It's going to default to 50, but you want to make sure it's 250 so that you can reach out to people in a mass way, okay? So that's how your contacts are working. Let's move on now to listings, okay? If you have listings, this is great. If you don't have listings, this is great, okay? Because with EXP, all you got to do really is send a quick text message to that particular agent and say, hey, I don't have any listings, but I would love to market Rockland Drive that you've got, right? And it's very simple. Most of the time, the agent's not going to have any issues with it. In North Carolina, we basically just, we just shoot them a quick text message and go with it, right? Because I've never had anybody tell me no, not with EXP at least, okay? So right here, I would just reach out to Andrew. There's his telephone number. So I can simply just text message him and say, hey, you've got this new property on Rockland Drive. I would absolutely love to market it. I don't have any listings at the moment. And he'll say, okay, or maybe not okay. I don't know. But most of the time they're going to say, okay. And now I simply just go down here, more actions, and I can email the hashtag or text the hashtag. I can generate a QR code. I can print a flyer. I could post it to Facebook. Let's say I want to post it to Facebook. Let's click that. It's going to open up my Facebook. Hopefully I can get in the, oh my goodness. I just had to change my password. I hope this thing works. There we go. Literally just had to change my password. Okay. And you can see right here, it brings it right up. Now I can simply just go in here and put in the information and then put share. Now you would do this on your business page as well. This is, my personal page, but you certainly could do that with your business page very easily. Okay. All right, let's go back here. And so there's various different things you could do, right? You can post it to X, you could post it to Pinterest, post to Craigslist. You do have to have a tool downloaded. It's what do they call it? Extension, right? A Google extension that does that for you. On this particular browser, I do not have that downloaded because I did a fresh browser just for us to be able to do this, so that we didn't have any hiccups or issues with the recording. All right. So you can simply do that by just clicking one button, and then it's going to put in, for them to text and get all the information and everything as far as that goes. All right. So that's how you work your listings. And there's various different things. You can boost the property here, right? There's all these things here where you can go in and see a map or see similar listings or find matching buyers. There's a lot of different things that you can play around with. We do talk about in detail. We talk about listing promotions, right? We talk about that. We don't really have time to get into that right at the moment, but that's one of the things that we talk about in our boot camp. You can also utilize this direct link and use that in a Facebook Marketplace ad, and we go into depth on that as well. As far as your marketing goes, the marketing has got a lot of different things that you can do inside of KvCORE, to market listings, right, or to market yourself. You've got the core listing machine, right? That is basically, let me get rid of this right here, dismiss. Okay. These are basically, what in the world? Okay. I can create a new kit, and basically what a kit looks like is, let's see if I can get this to work here. If I click edit, not edit, I'm sorry, I changed it right here. So video, website, print. So I've got all this stuff that's already done for me, right? And I can just utilize these marketing kits. You can go in here and you can edit it, and you can say you want them always active or whatever the situation may be. Again, what it is, flyers, website, video of the property, right? There's all kinds of cool stuff in here that you can do. You can connect it to social media where it auto post and all kinds of things like that inside there by simply clicking on Core Listing Machine. Okay, the next thing we're going to go to is, why am I stuck in Core Listing Machine here? Let me see if I can get back into all marketing. There we go. And the next thing is the Core Present. We talked about that. The Design Center, that's where you would design templates and things of that nature. Your smart campaigns, you could actually build out smart campaigns. We certainly don't have time to get into that. That's can be a very time-consuming, tedious process. One of the things that we also do in the bootcamp as well. Core Voicemail Drop. That's what I talked about like the slide out type thing. Your search alerts. You can schedule mass emails to go out to people. You can build a CMA. You can do market reports and valuations, birthdays and anniversaries. That's pretty cool. You can go in and set it to where it'll do a home anniversary. So if someone bought a home a year ago, it's going to send them an email or remind you to reach out to them during that time, or even on a birthday, right? Hashtag management. That's where you would go in and remove the hashtags or add the hashtags as you need. Okay. And then the real meat and potatoes of KvCORE is really this right here, the lead engine. This is where you're going to generate your leads. Okay. You can bulk import your leads, right? So if you've got them in, let's say Top Producer or whatever you've got them in, you can certainly do that. Lead Dropbox would be like, let's say you have a Zillow account that you want to link to it, or a Listings to Leads account, which I use. You can use Lead Dropbox for that. Okay. And then of course there's an open house app right there with the mobile dialer included. The property boost we talked about, get more leads. This is a paid version of how to get more leads on Google, Facebook, and things of that nature. So you can certainly pay for that. You can do a landing page. Okay. You can do a squeeze page, either one. Now let's talk about the landing page first. I'm not a huge fan of the landing page because it needs a lot of work, and it is being revamped. I'm being told it's being revamped right now as we speak. So you basically can go over here and you could say, you know what, I want this with a video and a lead, right? Lead capture. And it's going to put a little video down here. Now I can put the YouTube link I want to here to put the video here. I can go in and change any of this, right? If I wanted this to say Asheville, right? It would do that. Okay. I could do that. If I double click on something, it goes away, right? So there's a lot of different things I can do there. I can change the background, right? I could make it a farmhouse. I could make it a foreclosure, whatever I want to do. But I can tell you that these landing pages do not get the results as well as the squeeze pages. Okay, squeeze pages are much better. Now, people ask me all the time, what's the difference between a landing page and a squeeze page? A landing page is you land on it and you must put in your information to go anywhere. You cannot go anywhere unless you put in more information. All right, that's a landing page. A squeeze page lets you look a few times at a few different properties, and then kind of it's like fishing, right? You throw it out, you throw the line out, and then you slowly reel it in. You don't yank it as soon as the fish bites, right? Because then they're going to grab the bait and run. Now, what you want to do is you want to slowly reel it in till it's hooked right in their mouth, and then yank them in. Same concept with a squeeze page, okay? So a squeeze page is like this. If we click here and click Start Building, then now what we can do is we can do various different squeeze pages. We can do a market report, which all you do is simply go in and put in the area that you want. So let's put it Asheville, for example, Asheville, North Carolina, right? Okay, city, it has to auto-populate, just so you know. Okay, now I could do a geographical area here if I wanted to. My source is typically where I'm going to advertise it. Let's say I'm going to advertise it on Facebook or social media. You can put SM for social media. Put your hashtags right. You put your hashtags there. So that would be like Asheville, market report, that kind of stuff, right? Then you simply just generate the link. And it's going to generate that link. And then you're simply just going to grab that link, go over into your Facebook business page, not your personal page. Let me go to my Facebook business page. Okay. And here we go. I can click right here. And now I can say, curious about the price of homes in your area, whatever it may be, right? Then I can just simply paste that in, and that's going to give me this preview right here. Now, this is the reason I don't use this one, is because in North Carolina, where I'm at, we don't have any homes that look like this. This is more of like something you'd see in like Maine or Connecticut or somewhere like that. And we don't have homes that look like this. I can't go in and change that photo. So I personally do not use the market report, but that's certainly something that you could use if that works for you. Okay. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to move over to Seller Squeeze page. Seller Squeeze is great. You can set this one and forget it. So you basically do the same thing. Put the source in, put in the location where you're looking, right? Your hashtags. Then you're going to do the same thing. You're going to go over to your Facebook business page again. You're going to paste in that link, and then you're going to post it. All right. Now, once you've posted it, then you can go in and boost that post. So to boost a post, it's very simple. You simply just click Boost Post. You do have to go in and click on where it says special categories, I think it is. And it'll basically tell you there that you choose housing, right? Because obviously it's housing. And if you don't, they're going to get you for fair housing violation. So make sure you choose housing. And then you can simply just go in and put in where you want it to run, put in the location, put in the price amount that you want it to run, how long you want it to run, and click Submit. And then, of course, Facebook's going to review it, and then they're going to go ahead and run that ad for you. So it's something that you can do, whether it's a market report, whether it's a Seller Squeeze page, whether it's a single property page, which is actually just for one single property. So you can put in an address or an ID, a listing ID here. Either one, doesn't matter. Now, there are these things here with this registration. I like to leave this on 2 default. You could do 1 in media. I don't agree with that. I think that's not giving them enough bait, if you will, right? We were talking about fishing, right? So it's not giving them enough bait. If you go anything over 3, then you're giving them too much bait, in my opinion, right? So they're going to grab it and run, and you don't want that to happen. So the one thing is the Seller Squeeze is going to be great for generating seller leads. The multi-property is going to be great for generating buyer leads. Now, here again, I'm going to go in and type in Asheville. Okay, for example, City Asheville. Now here I'm going to go into listing type, and I want coming soon, and I want single family. Okay. And then here I'm going to leave all this blank: price range, square footage, acres, beds, baths, all that stuff. Now the options is where do I want them to land? Now I can have them land on multiple things. I could say just listed, newly built with a pool, right? I could do that. But for now, for time's sake, we're just going to do just listed. Okay. Then we're going to go over here to source, and I'm going to click on SM for social media. Here I'm going to put hashtags. So I'm going to match those. I want Asheville as a hashtag, right? And I want just listed. That's what we chose. Just listed as a hashtag. So once I've got those two, now the Facebook cover photo here, okay? I use the top one. This is not compliant in all areas. Not all locations will allow you to do this because you are using the last listed property on the MLS. It may or may not be an EXP agent's listing. Now, here's the thing. You're not using their price and you're not using their address. Therefore, in certain states, it is allowed. In other states, it is not allowed. So check with your broker in charge to make sure, or your managing broker to make sure that you can use that one. Otherwise, use one of the other drop downs and they're all from your agency, as you'll see here, okay? Now, again, I'm gonna leave that on 2. I'm gonna generate that link. I'm gonna grab the little short code. I'm gonna jump back over into my Facebook, okay? And I wanna get rid of this one. Let me refresh this. Okay, and so now I'm gonna click on here. And now I'm gonna say, looking for a great home in the Asheville, North Carolina area. And I can say, look no further, right? And then I'm simply just going to paste in that link. And as you see, it's going to pull up the most recently listed property, whatever that is. Again, all you see is the photo. You're not seeing the price. You're not seeing the address. This is just going to take them to a landing page or a squeeze page technically, but it's a page that where they're going to be able to look at other properties, look at this property, look at other properties. And then I simply would just post that. If I wanted to boost it, I could simply just click boost post right here, right? And then it would ask me some questions as soon as I post it, right? It's going to allow me to go in here and I'll show you what I mean by boosting the post if it allows me to do it. There we go. So it's going to pull up boosting the post. And so now it's going to pull up the ad preview over here. Okay. I will go here and I'll click on, instead of send message, I like to use learn more. Then I want them to go to a website, right? So definitely want them to go to that website. Special ad category. This is the one I was telling you about right here. You got to click on this and go housing. If you don't, you're going to get in some serious trouble. Okay. Then here you're going to go in and choose your location, right? So now I'm going to click on this little pencil and I'm going to say, now you can't change gender, you can't change age, any of that information. But here I can go in and I can say, you know what? I want this to only be in the Asheville area. So Asheville, North Carolina, plus 15 miles or 25 miles or 30 miles or whatever you want to make it. Now I simply, and I can get rid of that. I'll just hit save audience. Once I've saved my audience, now that's set. Then I go in, I choose how long I want to run the ad for and how much I want to spend. You can spend as low as $1 a day. Now, are you going to get a lot of leads at $1 a day? Probably not, but you can certainly go that low if you want to. And it'll tell you over here what to expect, right? Estimated daily results, 2.2 thousand to 6.4 thousand people reached for $119. So that just kind of gives you an idea of what you can do. And that's really kind of the overview, the best overview that there is of KvCORE. I mean, there's a lot more to it. There's a lot more to learn. But right now, for time's sake and for the sake of this video, I do believe that this is definitely a good synopsis of how to get up and running and working with KvCORE and utilizing it to help you generate more leads and generate more customers, generate more clients, generate more money. Right? That's basically what it's all about. And of course, if there's anybody out there that wants to check out our website, by all means, feel free to do so. It is kvcorebootcamp.com. And we've got all kinds of great things there that we can help you with in your KvCORE adventures. So thank you so much. And I appreciate your time today.